Well, this is going to be the worst video of all time because of the light. Anyway, I'm Shadow from Shadows Over Worlds, and this is going to be a review. A review about a book I had not intended to review. The Yellow Word by Albert Espinosa. I decided to review it because there were quite a few people who didn't know that the Red Band Society, the TV series, was based on this book. But it was not based on this book like other movies are based on books, what like the movies are an adaptation of the books. The TV series was basically based on his life, not exactly on this book. But anyway, really great book. I really love this. Well, this book is not a book where he... Well, we have other kinds of books like The Fault in Our Stars and Before I Die. Is it named Before I Die? Before I Die by Jenny Dunham. But this is not written like this. It is written by himself. It's an... Well, the I in this book is basically Albert Espinosa. And that's what makes this so cool. He's not telling about his life in a hospital, he's telling about his life after the hospital and what he learned in the hospital to take with him in his life for being a healthy person, a person who's not ill of cancer. So this book is basically constructed after a poem he really likes and he is inspired by. And this poem is constructed into four, well, phases of life, like that's how to start, that's how to continue, that's how to live and die. And this is, well, constructed like this. Where first, this is how it starts. He explains what this book shall be. And for this book it's just not a story, it's a book that shall help you have a more happy life and well, to be more aware of your life, of the life you have. And that's really cool. The second part is that's how to continue. And this part of the book is basically 23 experiences he made in hospital and took into his healthy life. Like, it's really cool when they get an envelope with the results of anything, of a X-ray or things like that. He says, problems solved after 30 minutes. How to know? Well, when they've got the envelope, when they got the envelope, at first they always opened it on the instant, instead of waiting the 2 weeks after until they get the date with the doctor. And then they were always really down and unhappy because they were so much into this. And then they started, like 30 minutes, they're doing something else. So they don't have to think about the envelope and about the results in it. And after 30 minutes, they took the envelope and they opened it and read it, and it was half that bad. Because mind has settled and everything like that. And that's what he takes into his new healthy life and says, okay, the problems are going to solve after 30 minutes. If there's a problem, I do nothing about it for 30 minutes. I don't even think about it. And after 30 minutes, I start thinking about it and finding a solution. That's quite cool. And those are things those are written in these books. And this is so great. And it really makes you happy, this book, because he has a really funny way of writing it, a really lovely way of writing it, and you, well, don't... I finished this book in one sitting. You don't want to put it away even though there's no story with things happening one after another. It's just... It's a few things he learned and took into his new life, and well, now is going to share them with the world. Another cool thing is that he says, okay, in the hospital we always had those folders where all the results are in, and why not take this into healthy life? Take a folder, and each day you write down 5 things that made you happy. And when you're sad, you can take the folder, look at it, and see what made you happy another day, and maybe it will make you happy again. And those are really cool things. The third part, That's How to Live, is about the yellows. And the yellows are a whole new level of friendship. And it's really hard to describe and really hard to define, but he wrote the definition, which I'm going to read because I can't summarize this. This is such a lovely and great idea, and maybe you'll find your yellows too. I wrote this down before because I have the German copy. The original one is in Spanish. I can't speak Spanish. I can speak other languages but not Spanish. So I translated this before because I'm really bad at translating on the instant. I have to take a few minutes to do so. Like, listen, definition of yellow. Of a yellow. A yellow is a really extraordinary and precious human in our life who we can pat and hug and with whom we share the room in which we sleep. Even though he influences our lives, we do not have to take care of him or spend time with him. Everyone gets 23 yellows. To talk to them makes us better persons and lets us recognize and see our faults. They present a whole new dimension of friendship. We all know those friends who are friends and with whom we have to spend time with, so we stay friends. And this is just, the yellows are, you can talk months not with each other. And when you then talk to them, it's like you have never stopped talking to them. So this is a really cool thing, and it's hard to describe, and I think everyone has already a few yellows in his life. The last part is die, and this is a really short part in this book because Albert Espinosa, well, he gives death a huge part in our lives, but not that huge that deserves a whole long chapter in this book because death is short. Even though when we take really long to die, the death itself is short. And they have this really cool way of handling death. Like, as I already said, this splitting up of the life between the friends. And the second is that they say, okay, before each death, you have to say, before your death, you have to say something, you have to wish, you have to make a wish. But this wish shall not be a really sad one, like, please visit my grave, or things like that. It shall be a wish full of life. That's the words he uses. A wish full of life. He once knew somebody who wished that those who have his life after his death, that they go to a concert in New York. A wish full of life. And that's the thing you should do. And that makes death less worse. So this is, well, it's a really cool book, and it doesn't tell you how to live, and it doesn't tell you what to do or what not to do. It just gives you advice what you can do if you're sometimes feeling sad or if you're feeling happy and you want to keep this feeling. This is a really cool book, and I really loved it. I think this is one of the best books I've ever read. This is so cool. Like, guys, you have to read this. Who of you have read the book? What do you think of it? Who of you have seen the TV show, and what do you think of that? What do you think of this whole topic of seeing cancer and death not as a bad thing, but as a, well, not lucky thing, but something you can learn something from? What do you think of all this? Write it down below in the comments. Maybe we'll have a little discussion. Maybe not. Maybe nobody is interested. Maybe. Maybe I'm the only one who was that excited about this book. Well, yeah, write it down below in the comments. I'll wait for your answers. And otherwise, if you liked this video, leave a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, write down in the comments what I could do better, because this was my 3rd review of all time. Yeah, 3rd review. Like, my first was even worse. I think so. Like, subscribe, write down in the comments, and we'll see you next video. Bye!